they're doing pretty well. I mean, there are cities that are thriving, even in nations that are clearly in decline. And there are even cities that are thriving in nations that aren't nations at all. Like Kabul in Afghanistan, it's still a city, but Afghanistan as a nation doesn't really exist. And in the Balkans, the cities are relatively well governed, whereas the nation states are just sort of completely useless, and corrupt. And in the United States, there are cities like Austin that do pretty well, even if they're in areas that are politically favored. Austin is a city of the left in a state which is very much to the right. And clearly it has done well by distinguishing itself from the rest of the state of Texas, even though it's the capital of Texas. And you can see it. I mean, I've had friends here at this event talk about going to Texas. I'm going to the different cities in Texas: San Antonio, McAllen, Brownsville, Corpus Christi. So many of them have Mexican names, not by accident. And then they go to Austin and say, it's so different. Oh, it's just, even foreign visitors can tell. And I think we're going to see that happen more and more. And it's really a sign of the nation state being torn apart. It's torn from above and below. It's torn by forces of globalization and by forces of localization. It's torn by the rich, and it's torn by the poor. And the number of tools that nation states have to defend themselves from this and to assert their autonomy is going away. Now, I wouldn't say this is completely inevitable, because nationalism is a very powerful force. But it's usually most powerful when you're being invaded by somebody from another nation. That's when you're really nationalistic. Like, get the hell out of our country. That's a very nationalist thing to say, and you can rally everyone around that cause. If nobody invades you, you can disintegrate, just as the Soviet Union did. Expecting invasion, expecting invasion, expecting invasion, no invasion comes, there's an internal collapse. You can't really be national without defining yourself in opposition to other nations. And if they're not that eager, you can't be all that eager either.